Greetings, crows, cats, and owls. Before we fly into this episode, a quick reminder that the following podcast is all about the second arc of Haikyuu, which is episodes 12 to 25 of season 1. If you've not seen it yet, then press pause right now, pal, and go watch it because we'd hate to spoil anything for you. But if you've already seen it, then please take a seat, sit back, relax, grab yourself a cup of tea. We've got plenty to discuss, plus lots of fun and games for you to get involved with. Now all the boring stuff's out of the way. Let's get started.
Like, wow, right? Oi, 邪魔すんなボケ平田ボケおやおや My yakisoba bun is saying
Welcome to episode 2 of our podcast.
Woo!
That's right. Quick recap of where we left off with our intrepid heroes. Lols. The Karasuno lads had galvanized and gathered their little stars together and formed a formal team. A real team.
A real team.
I know, right? This arc, we battle the cats versus crow, the trash can showdown. We go up against Nekoma and start the Inter-High Prelims after that. A whole journey of battle versus battle. Having been through so much to get the gang together, now we put their skills to the test. And we go to our first ever little training camp. And as Coach Ukai puts it, they need to just practice. We follow this arc along the prelims, an intense showdown with only one school becoming the Miyagi prefecture champs. And that's where we go. That's the journey this season.
I didn't appreciate this arc the first time, I don't think.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I don't get me wrong, I liked it. But now upon the rewatch, I understand that it's probably one of the more important arcs for seeing how the characters work in their roles and in the matches. And I also think one of the main themes of this arc is confidence. And a lot of the characters are still like developing their confidence. There's a lot of questioning one's abilities in this arc, so what's needed is a bit of finessing and a bit of building some confidence and ultimately understanding what's needed both mentally and physically in order to beat Aoba Johsai. And it's also great that we meet Nekoma at this point too.
Although we don't truly meet them in this arc.
True.
Yeah.
They kind of just introduce.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with a little true or false just to kick off with.
Ooh, true or false?
Let me know your thoughts, Fuzzy, and then at the end we can find out if everyone was right or wrong. So, if Karasuno's banner says fly, then Aoba Johsai's is rule the game. Is that true or false?
I think that's false because I recently looked up all the banners.
Oh. Great.
That was going to be my game for you. But also...
Nice one, Cheska.
Well, no, because it's a later episode, later arc one, because then we meet more of the teams, so you can have more banners.
Okay, fine. But I don't think I know any of the others anyway, so...
Oh, well.
I don't know,
I've
maybe...
given the game away. Okay.
Pretend I didn't say anything.
No. It was a great true or false because I know the answer this time.
Okay, well, so you know, but do you guys know? Let's wait till the end to find out.
That's the real question.
Okay, so we've got episodes 1 and 2.
Wait, we've got the order of the episodes, pal. Looking here, right? So we've got a new opening theme.
And the outro, and a new outro.
Which I think I just need to play the opening theme to myself because I don't really remember it.
Play away. I think it's criminally underrated.
Lols. Hang on, I'm having a quick listen.
Oh, you're listening.
Oh my god, these guys taking a deep breath just before they go to Inter-High Prelims. Ugh, the angst.
So much drama.
I think the thing that I want more from this is like I want a bigger like drop to the song, you know?
I get that.
Oh yeah, feels a bit light for me. But that's only because I'm a turd.
I mean, I really like it because when I was first watching Haikyuu, I would wait for the chorus to come along and it would build up and I'd be like, oh yeah. I really like it.
And then the end credit song this time. I quite enjoy this because last time it was all Hinata and his little like running up the road and this time I feel like the end credit gives you a little insight into what the arc is about, and this time the arc's more about Kageyama. And his whole strife.
And I like the way it's animated too. It's kind of rough, and then like Kag steps out looking cool.
Kags.
And Kags. And his game face on. And it's all about Kageyama. Like when I first watched it, I didn't think I realised this because there's so much going on. And as confident as he may seem, there is underlying fears there that we focus on. And
Yeah.
we don't really see much of Hinata in terms of his growth. He's just being Mr. Sunshine and Rainbows.
Oh my god. The eternal positivity trooper. God. So we start with the first training camp. And this is like the training camp where they stay after school to hang out at school. That's how
That's it.
would describe it.
It's a strange situation.
And I think you texted me something about this that I was like, yes, exactly that. Oh wait, I think I even wrote down the quote. It's just a bunch of disgusting guys in your face all day, every day. I was like, yeah, you're exactly right, Suki.
Oh, Suki. He's just not built for this experience yet.
Not yet. So the training camp is just before they meet Nekoma, and they have like an intensive training period. And I think the thing that really breaks my little heart is Suga being like, I just want to keep getting further ahead. Don't put me in the starting lineup. And the other two, Daichi and Asahi, just standing in the corner listening, being like, we'll do this for Suga.
Our little cinnamon roll. And this is really where we see his sacrifice come into play. He knows he's going to have to take a step back and assess, what can I bring to the table?
Yeah.
I can strategize, I can observe, I can plan. And I've said it before, I said it in the last discussion, but to know where you stand in the competitive world and accept it, but to not stop trying, takes a lot. And I commend him for that.
I think he just needs to shine.
He does.
Yeah, he needs to just get to the forefront a little bit. And then I've also written, I just really love everyone being creeped out by Nishinoya and Asahi's natural looks. Like, they're like... Nishinoya's hair being flat.
Asahi's hair being down. And I think it's a really nice episode. And they do this a lot in anime, where they have these kind of breather eps between two serious points. So in this case, it's between the team formation and the Inter-High Prelims. And it's just an episode of good old hijinks and antics, and everyone can just have a good time outside the volleyball court. And it's another example of how Haikyuu, when off the court, feels very slice of life. And we get to see these intimate, heartwarming moments that there's a little payoff, and I really love.
Which is great, because we've had that moment of like building the team. Now it's time to get the gang together, see what they can do, see where we got to go on this journey. And then that culminates with the Nekoma match. And my question for you, Cheska, is can you remember what the Nekoma banner is?
Don't tell me. I do know. Right, so is it something to do with like fluidity? No, it's like oh wait, is it connection?
It is connect. It's connect.
Yay!
Oh my god, that Orcs quote when they just before they start playing, and Kuru's like, "We are plasma. Let's make our motions fluid. Keep the O2 flowing so the brain can work at its full potential." Oh my god, I literally crapped my pants laughing at him.
He's such a science dork.
And I'd like to point out that Kuru is like my favorite character, but in this moment when you meet him, he is Orcs as fuck.
Can confirm this. She is a full believer of the Kuru supremacy. She fully believes.
I do. But he doesn't shine here. This is not where he reveals his true form. Right now, he's just like this super greasy weird man.
And it's a great moment as well, because we see Kenma being so embarrassed by him, but everyone else, like Yaku and Yamamoto, are just loving the hype man. He's the hype man of Nekoma.
Yeah.
And I think he's a great captain, but I just think he's quite different to Daichi. Like, he's a good captain.
I don't know though.
Yeah?
I think Daichi and Kuru are like exactly the same. Like, I think there's a lot of matching characters between the Nekoma team and Karasuno. I think like Daichi and Kuru are like one side of the same coin. Wait, is that a phrase?
Yeah.
Anyway, and so I've made a little list of who I think are our pair-ups here.
I would like to throw my 2 pence in as well, if that's okay.
My 2 pence long. I'm carrying on the money theme. So we've got Daichi and we've said Kuru.
That I can agree with.
Okay, I've got Tanaka, and who is the obvious pairing to Tanaka?
It's gotta be Yamamoto. No question about it.
And then I've got Suki. And who do you think his pairing is?
Suki.
So I'll give you some hints through the descriptions of how it came to this, right? So Suki's very observant. He's watching, he's analysing the game.
Oh, is it Kenma?
Exactly. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So I was thinking, because when I was trying to match the pairs up myself, I thought, well, there's glaringly obvious pairs like Hyaku and Sugawara. And then I was looking at Kenma, naturally comparing him to Kageyama as the other setter. And I thought, well, they're actually not in the slightest bit alike. Kageyama is competitive and a bit of an overbearing perfectionist, whereas Kenma is far more self-aware and observant.
Yeah, they've got very different vibes.
But now you've said that, that makes complete sense. Like, I can see that.
And then I've got one more. Who do you think Shoyo's?
Oh, I only noticed it this time, actually, and he's called Inuoka.
Yeah.
It's when they're both jumping and he's like, oh, woo and boo.
Yeah,
and
exactly. That's when I clocked it too. Just that jumping around moment. And I've written here that I never get tired of everyone's reaction to this whole fucking quick attack thing. Like, oh my god, he did it with his eyes closed. Come on, lads, we know.
No, I agree. And it's great because we use the other characters, or new characters, as a vehicle to re-experience the magic of the quick attack again and again.
Actually, you know what that I noticed this time around watching is how smart the Nekoma coach is. And he's like, they're a demon in his iron club.
That's it.
And then he was like, but soon they'll become a demon and a demon. And I was like, actually, that's pretty smart, and that's pretty bang on for like the description of what needs to happen. Like, the boys need to grow a bit more. Right now they're just little fledglings. Yeah.
Little crow fledglings.
For Hinata and Kageyama's evolution, I've just written, time to open your eyes, son. Get those eyes open and work out what the flap you're doing, because at the moment it's just so
It's just not working. The quick attack as it stands, with Hinata having his eyes closed and simply being a good jumper, all that is allowing is for Kageyama to use him as a weapon, which is what we then later explore, is that Kageyama is kind of still semi in that mindset. And Nekomata pointing this out made me realise that he's actually a very valuable character for his expertise and as a device for the audience to understand the underlying issues in something that seems amazing upon appearance. Nekomata is saying these things that need to change for them to progress and succeed. And it's very smart. He's a great character.
And the other thing I love about him is that he wants to see Karasuno improve. He's just like, you guys need to work on this. You need to get to our level so this can be like a true rivalry. But there's just this like friendliness about growing together and making everyone the best they can be. Because actually they're right. They like talk about how what's the point in being the best if you've got no one to match up against, you know?
True.
Another thing that I did is that, Cheska, you're going to hate this, I scrolled through our initial chat about
What have you done?
Haikyuu when you were watching it for the first time. I went back to look at all of our texts and to see what quotes I could pull out from that.
God, what have you unearthed?
So
I'm going to come out with something cringeworthy on.
I've only got a few here because there were so many and they were so funny, but I think it was a more of a you had to be there moment rather than a fun listening moment.
Of course.
So I've got, if I were an anime chick, I'd date a Karasuno lad. I think they're great. Who do we think said that one?
That's me all over. And the thing is now I'm a veteran. I think I'd be all over Nekoma and Fukurodani all the way. Now I've seen the next arc. I agree.
Coming over to the Nekoma way. That's right.
I can't say that now. I don't stand by that now. It's Fukurodani all the way for me.
Yep, exactly. And I think we both said this at like exactly the same time, which I find hysterical. It was Kageyama's side eye and his goddamn terrifying faces.
Oh my god, he's terrifying. As much as I adore him, he has a terrifying face.
He's got like peak terror face.
Back to the time when I didn't like Kageyama, I was aware that there was a big love for him that in the fandom. Now I actually appreciate him. I understand that fandom now, and he grows on you.
I completely agree, and I did a little deep dive into the Kageyama fandom to find out like what is going on there. And it's a kind of a love-hate relationship. There's two sides of the coin here.
The coin.
Continuing the coin theme. Well, in that there is this group of people who just think he can't communicate, but actually he's got like a depth of emotions and feelings that he's trying to like process through. And the other half of the coin is like, you know, why doesn't he just say what he means instead of being so shady all the time? He's the kind of character that people love to hate, which I find interesting.
I agree. Like, the most of this arc has now made me reflect and feel quite sorry for him in hindsight, because it's clear that he has a lot of difficulty processing emotions and dealing with the relationships that he's just newly formed, like with Hinata, someone who is very emotional, and he has to be diplomatic now, which he's not used to, and more of a people person. Moreover, he's got upperclassmen to answer to, and we see especially in the latter half of this arc that he really respects his upperclassmen now and is learning how to be a better person. He's a work in progress in this arc. Like, we see him get much better at using his words.
Use your words. Use your words. And I think that's where sometimes I find him quite the struggle. But then there are moments in the show where you see him where he's like trying to choose the yogurt drink, or you get a little glimpse of the thought in his head and you realise what a basic bitch he is. That you're like, oh, okay. I kind of understand why you can't communicate for crap.
I think, like, jokes aside, I know we're always saying he's a bit of a basic bitch, and I do agree. But I think he is also pretty intelligent as well. Like, I know he gets poor marks on his schoolwork, but I think it's because his genius just comes out when it's applied. Like, he's got applied intelligence.
Yeah.
He doesn't get good marks in English and maths because it isn't volleyball, you know. I think if it's not volleyball, he just doesn't give a shit.
So from here we go to, there's a moment where Tadashi goes off to go and ask how to learn to serve. He goes to...
Oh, yeah. Shimida-san. Mr. Shimida.
Mr. Shimida.
And that takes him some courage, especially from someone like Tadashi, because he's very lacking self-confidence. But he goes to learn the jump float serve, right? No.
Yeah, he goes and asks how to learn to jump float because, you know, he needs a skill. He's just a sideline character right now.
He knows that as well. He knows that everyone else has got some kind of skill, and that he doesn't have great strength or stamina or reflexes, game sense, or even experience. And in the lead up to him asking Mr. Shimida, he hasn't had, you know, that moment yet. And especially because he's been doing it to support Tsukishima, I think, and not for himself. But this all changes now. He goes to Mr. Shimida, and that's the first time he's done something for himself to become a better player and to carve his own role within the team. And yeah, he really grew on me at this point. He's a good lad.
So
little yams.
This is my hot take. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Hot take.
Hot take. Hot take.
I also don't think it's that big of a hot take, but I think that Kiyoko is destined to be with Sugawara. That is the true pairing. I'll hear nothing else.
Hang on.
None of this
Wait,
Nishinoya,
what?
none of this Tanaka. No, it's Suga and Kiyoko. She is Miss Amazing Grace.
She is perfect in every way.
Oh wait, no, the quote is, she is beauty, she is grace. She's Miss United States.
Miss Congeniality, great reference. I slammed my pen down, and that is a piping hot take. Because, yeah, how could you, Fuzzy? How could you do this to Tanaka? Like, don't get me wrong, I think Suga and Kiyoko would make a lovely couple. Suga is a respectful young man. She deserves a respectful young man, right?
Nobody needs a respectful young man. Come on now.
But yeah, they certainly wouldn't be a bad match. But I did feel the tension when she touches his little hand and it gets all lovely. But Tanaka, man, she's the love of his life. Kiyoko will always be his queen, and he would treat her like a queen, you know? Yeah, I stand Kiyoko Tanaka forever, and you cannot change that.
No, because how can you pick Tanaka over Nishinoya? That's the question, huh?
Touche.
Huh?
Okay, touche, my friend. But I think Nishinoya does love Kiyoko, but I think low-key Nishi is just a ladies' man. Like, he would be happy with any pretty girl. Yeah, honestly. I think he'd be happy with any other girl.
I don't know. I think Kiyoko deserves a Suga. That's what she deserves. Well, to be fair, I do freaking love Tanaka, and I think he has a lot of insight and wisdom that he shares in a very hysterical way. But Kiyoko needs someone who will, like, pull her mind. No, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying at this point.
No,
I just think...
I get you. I just think he's so in love with her. He would devote like every inch of his life to her, and I understand where you're coming from, but Tanaka all the way. Like, I know you stand Suga Kiyoko, I respect it, but I'm gonna have to politely disagree. Excellent take though. You nearly had me agreeing with you there, but Kiyoko Tanaka I stand.
So after our hot take moment there,
excellent take,
we move to Karasuno versus Tokonami. We start the Inter-High Prelims. Woo.
Things have really come together now, haven't they? Like
Uh-huh.
Suga's signals, Asahi building his confidence.
Yes, we
back.
love the signals.
Love the
Yeah.
signals. Love 'em.
I also really love. I didn't know about Nishinoya's like reputation.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I only just noticed
He
it
is-
this time. But yeah, he is a damn good libero. You go,
Yeah,
boy.
he's the big man. He's the big
Uh-huh.
man about town. He's the small big man.
Yeah. One of my favourite moments of this, like at the start of this Inter-High Prelim, is when Asahi is giving Hinata some like advice about how to get over his fears and his whole like nervous energy.
I know what you're going to say.
And he's like, think of something that really scares you. And the things that go through Hinata's head is just such an insight into what a basic little boy he is. It's like the vice principal, the ring, the character from the Ring, falling, a roller coaster, and then Kageyama. It culminates with Kageyama being the most fearful thing he can think of. Oh my days. So in this little rival match, we get to see a lot more into Daichi's past and his kind of love of volleyball as well, which
Massively.
is quite interesting.
And I really like this episode. It's a lovely episode. It's a Daichi-centered episode. And characters like Daichi are amazing because whilst they don't stand out, you can feel their presence through other characters too.
Oh yeah.
And this whole ep was a look into how Daichi's influence ripples into his friends like Ikejuri and Michimiya. And it was touching because in a setting that's mainly focusing on winners and winning, it's a really nice change to the sports shonen trope. And it highlights one of the parts of Haikyuu that I love the most, which is how it cares. Like, it makes me as a watcher care about everyone, including the losing team and characters with less than 10 lines. And yeah, I love it.
In his previous team, he was always reaching for the end, trying every shot, and they were a bit like, ugh, what's the point? Which is a thing that happens a lot during this whole tournament. Everyone gets inspired by Karasuno, okay. But I like that Daichi has found his like club of people who are very similar to him and
Same.
who all want to like do their best and get that final point. And it's just so heartwarming.
They do, and he's a heartwarming character.
Yeah.
On that note, I've got a very cheeky little game of who said it. Are
Okay.
you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one. There's nothing special about upperclassmen. They were just born a year or two sooner, so why do they act like they're better than everyone else?
Oh, come now, Kenma. You know you love your upperclassmen.
That's so Kenma, isn't it? Peak.
I'm ready. Give me the second one.
Even if you're not sure you can win, and even if everyone around you is saying it's impossible, no matter what, you can't allow yourselves to say never.
That definitely sounds like Daichi.
Yeah,
But
there's
is
Daichi.
it? Yes! Classic Daichi. Like, you can never give up. It's like, friggin' hell. Like, give a gal a break, pal.
Okay, so next one. Listen here, we've got nothing to worry about. You guys focus what's in front. I've got your back.
Oh, Nishinoya, you little gem.
Yay!
He has your back.
The truth is, it's not the most powerful spike that wins. It's whoever drops the ball loses.
I have a feeling that's one of the coaches.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have reacted then.
Now the question is, which coach? Is it the coach of Aoba Johsai? No, it's someone who's like, just dig it up. Is it Coach Nekomata?
It is. Well done. So I actually chose that quote because it's very similar to an Oikawa quote.
Yeah, it is similar.
Right. Well done.
Thanks, I try.
Next one. My smiles are always honest and delightful.
My smiles are always honest and delightful.
My smiles are always honest and delightful.
Oh my god, this is actually really hard for me.
Is it?
Interesting.
I thought you would have got that one actually.
Is it? It's not Hinata.
No. Do you want me to tell you?
No. Is it someone from the Karasuno team?
Okay, I'll give you a clue. It's not a Karasuno player.
Is it Oikawa?
It is Oikawa.
Yes, only him.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly. Anyway, the last one. The dub version says, I don't play volleyball just to get ahead. Or in the subbed version, I don't play volleyball just because there's something to gain.
I don't play volleyball because there's something to gain. That sounds like something Hinata would say, like the little dumbass he is. Oh.
Do you want me to tell you?
Go on.
It's Suga on the third day.
Of course.
You know, when he's in is it the careers counsellor guy?
Oh yeah,
That's it.
Yeah. To quit the team.
That's it.
Because you gotta focus on your life now, son.
Exactly. Were they a bit too easy? I feel like they were
Nah,
too easy.
they were great. I have seen this so many times, to be fair.
Yeah, you know it back to front, so.
So,
Where are we up to?
the next match. So obviously we win because Karasuno, and then we move to Datek, the match that is of 1,000 feelings, brings up 1,000 emotions. This was our last fail. The Iron Wall. Ugh, so many emotions. I feel like each match is like a different character's backstory, a different character's like moment to shine. So we've had Daichi and now we have Asahi. They've got their like character development stories here this week.
And I feel like anyone could look at the ep guide and think, why do we need so many episodes for a couple of matches? But it's actually that each ep focuses on a different individual, like you're saying. We use the matches as a means to flesh out the characters and see how their nuances within their personalities play out in their roles within the team. And now we know their dynamics as friends too. It makes their performances under pressure feel more special, and it just gives me those uplifting vibes that I love about this show, like the whole Nishi and Asahi duality in this ep. I love it.
Yeah.
I've also got a little note here, because isn't this the episode where Kageyama compliments Hinata for the first time, like something about being a decoy?
I've written that as well. I put K+H heart moment. These guys
pulling on my heartstrings, these lads. and he says it like a semi-normal person, not in his usual robot grumpy fashion. We're making progress here.
I know, show those emotions. That's what you gotta do. Come on, kids. I've written Hinata learns that being a decoy is awesome. Little dumbass.
This is so you, though.
Oh god, it just needs to be spelled out for him every time. He's just not got the mental bandwidth to just stretch his little brain and be like, I am of value and use. It needs to be reaffirmed. Ugh.
And it's a confidence issue that we see in Hinata and Asahi too. These are two characters who on appearance seem pretty happy and positive, but deep down they are riddled with low self-esteem and anxiety, and they need the more confident teammates to reaffirm their worth and value, so Kageyama or Nishinoya. And moreover, I think this is a really interesting little point actually, because Furudate is always writing dualities, and I feel here these two spikers reflect something in one another.
Yeah, and I think it's also a little insight into how when someone's so positive, there is always an undercurrent of insecurity running there somewhere.
So true.
Come on, lads. We are all slightly insecure. Just some of us are better at showing it than others. Ugh.
So true. And I think everyone has this just slightly. Maybe less so Daichi, but certainly not Nishinoya. I think he's the only one who is 100% confident, and I loved Ep 18, guarding your back, for this, because concerning confidence and personalities within those roles, we get to see Nishinoya's uber confidence play perfectly in his role as the libero, and that is a role where he has to have everyone's back, and there isn't a smidgen of doubt, not a smidgen of doubt in his ability to back up his team, and that's what you need from a libero, and I just love that. He is great. I'm here for him.
It is true. It is true. The other thing that I noticed in this episode was Tsukishima's jealousy of Hinata. It really comes out a little bit. That he gets this little confidence boost from Masahi, and he's all like, yeah, but I am the moon and Hinata is the sun. My role is just to keep the bench warm till Hinata comes back up front again. And I just think, oh my god, can everyone just get a little compliment now and again, a little confidence boost, know their value, and move on. But I guess Tsukishima can't really see his value yet, and I love that everyone can see that he's floundering. The Nekoma coach is everyone's in this intense battle of struggle except that one over there, Spexy. And even coach is ugh, if Suki could just put in 2% effort, how great would he be?
Exactly.
But we get to Suki later. He's got a whole thing, but this is the start of that angst.
Is this remark that is the first crack in the Tsukishima shell? Because up until this point, he has been cocky and antagonistic and kind of a bully at times who trash talks the lads at any chance he gets just for trying, right? Yeah. But with that antagonistic personality, you think that he's confident and he gives off this kind of swagger. But that remark is actually telling us that there is a lack of confidence in his role. He's actually just as unconfident as a lot of us. It's just that he's putting on this front,
I think so, yeah. Actually, in this episode, so I know we're moving to Aoba Johsai or Seiju, whatever their name is. I don't understand why they have such a complex name relationship.
So I did read this somewhere, but I've actually forgotten what it is. But let me Google it really quick.
Yeah, let's find out. That's right, listeners. We'll get you answers. While we ask the questions, we'll find the answers. Unless you can tell us the answer.
Here at Ani-Meito, we will dig up the answers, just like Nishinoya digs for the ball.
Exactly. But what I was thinking...
Oh, I've got it.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
So it's
go on.
It's an abbreviation based on the kanji. If you take the first and third letter of Aoba Johsai, then you get Seijo. So there you go.
I see. I understand.
Facts.
Dishing
them cold hard factoids. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot about my fun fact. So today's fun fact is all about Kenma. His favourite food is apple pie, and that is also his gaming name.
Great shout. Oh my god! His gaming name is Apple Pie. It's so cutesy for someone who is so dark.
So dark.
Oh my god, I desperately want an apple pie now.
Same. Now craving apple pie from
a popular branded place.
A place that we can't mention. Anyway, I digress. I feel like I'm just going on for mad tangents.
Oh no, we've been on a lovely detour. I noticed in this episode that Oikawa points it out in the next one. They clock onto Hinata and Kageyama's signal so quickly, but I really noticed it in this one. Bring it to me, give it here. It's like, come on, lads. Also, the fact that they need such a basic signal, and when it's cracked, they're like, how did they crack it? Lads. Come now. Come on.
I think when you shared the same aforementioned crackhead brain cell for volleyball as those two do, you're going to think that this is a very complex system of codes. Although it's unfortunate that they get sussed, it's ultimately for the better, because that means Suga and his hand signals can enter the chat.
He is 10 out of 10 bringer of all smartness.
12 out of 10. Before we move on, actually, I just really need to mention one of my favourite pieces of animation in the season, which is Nishinoya's foot save.
Oh, what a little legend. You know, just use any limb. Just catch it, pal. Catch it.
And it's so... It's not only is it a beautifully animated sequence, it's just so powerful for what it means for Asahi as well. Like, Furudate's just so considerate to how these things play out. And it's so poetic that it's Nishi is the one saving it as opposed to anyone else. Strong contender for MVP of the arc, methinks.
Yeah, he's got your back. He has got your back, lads. Also, Asahi's big moment, view from the other side, and quoting little Hinata. Oh.
Can we very quickly talk about Kageyama unnecessarily flexing his genius, and does what is that? It's like a little set dunk or some kind of
yeah.
Is it a line shot?
It's a line shot.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Hinata, are you watching?
That was a line shot. God, everyone is so exhausted of his pure talent that he flexes so aggressively.
All the others are like, I'm so tired of Kageyama and his endless talent. Jeez, put it away. And now we move to Karasuno versus Aoba Johsai, The Reckoning.
Okay, I love this theme. I love this theme.
Yes.
And
although I love your version of it, so you know.
Thank you.
In the first 2 seconds of meeting Oikawa, I love Iwaizumi. He is just like breath of fresh air you need for Oikawa's
Iwa is the bomb. End of discussion. Adore him. So I did some digging, and interestingly, the Iwa in Iwaizumi actually means rock, which signifies, I think, the essence of his character. Like, he represents a steadiness and stability, and it's so contrasting to the capriciousness. Is that a word? Capricious?
Yeah.
Capriciousness and turbulence of Oikawa's character. And as an individual, Iwaizumi might not seem fleshed out or as developed as Oikawa. He just kind of seems like a foil to Oikawa, right? But in fact, Iwaizumi's role is integral to us understanding and characterizing our favorite trash king and antagonist. And whilst Iwa is very capable of staying composed, he only loses his shit in response to Oikawa messing around. This says a lot for me, because I think deep down it's clear that his motive is really to keep Oikawa from doing anything detrimental to himself or anyone else,
Yeah.
like in the flashback with Kageyama.
He's the grounding figure. Yeah. Lazy Kawa, shitty Kawa.
Shitty Kawa. Crappy Kawa.
He's just so grounding. To be honest, I don't understand why he likes Oikawa so much. He's seen Oikawa's vulnerability, and because of that, he's got this like kinship with him. But he can also see what Oikawa needs, and he needs someone to be like, snap the hell out of it and focus on what's at hand, and not with all these like your rivalry with Ushiwaka and all of that. That is to come later. Right now, you need to focus on you know? And we're a team. It's not just you, it's a team. Which is the lesson that Kageyama needs to learn. Ugh.
So true. On that note, I have my hot take of the day, and it's from yours truly.
Oh.
I don't like Oikawa. And I know a lot of people love him. I know you love him too, Fuzzy. But for me, he just kind of rubs me up the wrong way. You know, he rubs me up the wrong way. I find him very petty, a bit trashy. And I know there's a massive fan base for him. So you tell me, mate, what is the Toru Oikawa effect? Give me the lowdown. Give me the lowdown.
Well, I understand your point. I understand it completely. And I think the thing, especially in this match, you don't dig into Oikawa's background as much. So you're like made to hate him. He is the ultimate rival to Kageyama, and that is his position in this arc. And I completely agree. He's a very irritating character. But in every way that Kageyama is like the epitome of technical ability, Oikawa has this whole thing where he can just pull out all of the best characters in his own team. He gets to know each player and their like nuances and differences, and he does it in such a rapid way that he can just be put in any situation, and he's just like, I've got this. I will highlight all of you to the best of your ability, and in the process show off how friggin' great I am. And I think that's just like ultimate skill. That's talent. That is pure raw talent right there. And in the same way, Kenma is always analyzing the game and watching, and it has this like, and we applaud him for just like keeping his eye on every character and watching how the flow's going. Oikawa does that. He does that so naturally, so effortlessly. And then he's even better because he comes up with like a, to be fair, Kenma does too. I love you, Kenma. Don't worry.
We love you, apple
but
pie.
Oikawa does it in the same way. He comes up with a great tactical way of going against anything they're put up against. Like with the quick attacks, he works out what the signal is, and then as soon as he does that, he comes up with a countermeasure. He's just so smart, and he keeps his team, his players, on track to keep doing the best they can. They're just not overwhelmed by any situation, and I think that's because of Oikawa's confidence in his and his team's skill. You know, if someone's quietly that confident that you can do well, oh my god, how good would you feel?
True. Can I just say I really enjoyed coming to your TED Talk, first of all.
Thanks.
But yeah, no, to be honest, I can't disagree with you there. And isn't it Ukai, by the way, who describes Oikawa as a composer in an orchestra?
Yes.
Because, to be fair to him, he does know how to bring out the best in his teammates. Each of his teammates obviously have their abilities and their skills come out at their best because he knows how to do it. And the thing with Oikawa is he tailors every set to every spiker, whereas Kageyama is still kind of a tyrant in that way.
Yeah, he keeps the gang like grounded and together, you know, and they all make fun of him and they're all comfortable around him, and it's quite funny. I think as a leader, I question. I think Iwaizumi is actually the ultimate leader because, you know, he is a bit more grounded than Oikawa, but together they make such a good team in leading their gang. It makes sense. And the thing about Kageyama is that he has to be walked to the face of every lesson, just like Hinata. He's like, oh my god, Oikawa's so good, he's so skilled, but he doesn't stop to be like, and why? What is making him so good? What is making him so skilled? And it's only in like Senpai's true ability, that episode where he gets subbed out and Sugawara comes in, that he really notices that Sugawara takes the time to get to know his team. He works out what they need and how he can best complement his teammates, you know? Oh, Kageyama, get on board.
This is Kags' downfall, though. Like, because of his hot-headedness and his arrogance, he had to learn this the hard way. And whilst it's obviously tough for him, I can't deny that I did enjoy just momentarily seeing this vulnerable side of the solitary king. Like, now we see this vulnerability in someone who is normally so cold and so closed off.
Lols. You love a vulnerable moment. Look at you. You love to see the vulnerability.
It's true, actually. It's seeing the sides of these characters that appear really serious and closed off that I love. You know, it's like gold dust to me.
Exactly right.
You know, by the way, actually, I've realised I've completely forgotten to mention someone who's very important, who is another contender for MVP of the arc, and that is Coach Ukai.
Yes.
Because he works so hard. I think we should give him a chef's kiss. That guy works so hard. Like, so he works in the shop in the evening.
Yeah.
He then starts picking crops at like 4 a.m.
Uh-huh.
And then he's coaching the bloody kids. He's going to their matches. He's doing it all and more.
What a gem.
Guy. I know, what a gem. And he's not even being paid, right? We can assume he's not being paid, right? Not a hot take, but without Ukai, Karasuno would not have been able to get themselves to these bloody prelims.
And like we said in Arc 1, they need a coach. They need a coach to help them grow.
Dake is not a coach.
He
does not cut the mustard. He's just a cinnamon roll teacher. Yeah, he's fucking clueless, but we love him.
But we love him.
I love Dake. But also, have you noticed, by the way, all of the coaches are like really old blokes?
It's true.
Yukai's the only young one. And he's a little bit dishy with his little headband. He's a dish.
I think so, yeah.
In all seriousness, a great character. Works really hard.
Exactly.
Strong contender for MVP.
But also, what time period is this set in? Because he smokes indoors quite a lot. Unless in Japan you can.
Oh no, yeah. So in Japan you can smoke indoors, but it depends on where you are. So you'll find with bars and restaurants.
God, we're so British.
But my goodness, smoking indoors.
Inside.
You'll find in like bars and restaurants and stuff, there'll be a partitioned smoking area, and you have to ask for like a smoking or non-smoking area.
Uh-huh.
Moving on to episode 20, Toru Oikawa is not a genius.
Controversial.
Is it now? Interesting, because even Big Bro Tanaka has his little moment of self-doubt under Oikawa's threat.
But he snaps out of it so quick. He just slaps himself in the face and he's like, sweet, back on track, let's go, gang.
I think a moment of appreciation is needed for Tanaka's tenacity.
Of course, any time.
You know, that kind of, it really shows that how a character like Oikawa, who stays cool as a cucumber during these high tension moments, that in itself can just be threatening. And it makes these characters like Kageyama and Tanaka just fire up, you know?
Exactly.
This ep also had one of the moments for me where I physically winced, and it's the bit where Kageyama and Oikawa kind of like jousting over the net with the ball, and Kageyama falls on his butt and looks up at a backlit Oikawa towering over him. And it makes you realise at this point Karasuno doesn't deserve to win. Obviously we want them to win, but they have a long way to go, you know?
Yeah, they need to realise they've got so far to go. Practice. That's what they gotta do. They literally just came together like a month ago. Not even.
It's true. Just really quickly to break up the drama as well, I just got a little question for you, Fuzzy.
Okay.
It's just a little light-hearted would you rather.
Oh, I've got one for you as well.
Oh, do you? Yay, good.
Although mine is a less of a would you rather and more of a who would you prefer to be situation. But, you know, we can do a would you rather.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so mine, I kind of tried to tailor it for you specifically. It's that would you rather team up with Sugawara and strategize for the next game, or would you rather team up with Karud and get into the blocking side of things?
Oh god. Oh, you know I'm a true fan of Karud. He is my top character in this whole show.
Great.
Also, Sugawara, he's just so timid. Like, I don't know. I love him. He's a great character.
He is.
But yeah, he's not my vibe. Karud. Yes, son.
The Karud supremacy lives on. Viva la Karud.
So I've got a few for you. It's a would you rather Captain's edition.
Ooh, spicy.
Mm-hmm. Although it's not just captains, you know.
Oh.
There's a couple of
Okay.
rogue ones
Hit
in
me.
here. So the first question, Daichi versus Oikawa. I think I already know who you're going to pick here.
So am I on a team with them? Is that what you mean?
Who would you rather have as your captain?
Okay.
Yeah.
Although I don't like Oikawa as a character, I do think he's an excellent captain. Like, I think he'd give me the praise I need and give the feedback that would help me grow and build my talents. And as you said earlier, he excels in being able to read people in a situation and utilize his battalion in the best way to win, you know?
Yeah.
However, I don't like how he kind of messes around a fair bit with his fangirls. And I don't know how much I could respect him, whereas Daichi, I would 100% respect him.
Yeah.
He leads by example and is someone I think I could rely on both on and off the court. So yeah, in this one it's Daichi.
Yeah, exactly. And then Kuru or Daichi?
It might be Karud, you know.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So I think they're the two best captains, honestly. But Karud is more fun. Like when we were comparing them earlier, I do think Karud has better banter, but humour aside, he has an amazing ability to connect with anyone and get them on board. And whether that's, you know, antisocial Kenma or Kei, I don't give a shit about volleyball, Tsukishima, he gets them on board and he gets people involved, and I love that. And whilst him and Daichi's leadership styles are quite similar, I actually think he's maybe a bit more approachable and less serious.
Yeah.
So
he's a bit more edgy.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I love
it. Who would you rather be, Hinata or Nishinoya?
Nishinoya. Like,
oh really?
Completely. No question at all. So volleyball position aside, I would just like to be more like Nishinoya generally, because I like his ability to approach everything with confidence and positivity. He's never doubting himself for a second, and I certainly could do with some of that confidence, and I'm sure we all could.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I just love his vibe. He's got a great vibe. And second thing, I think if I was going to play a volleyball position, I would love to be a libero, I think, because I really like defense positions in sports. I'm not an attacker.
I agree. I think that's all of my questions.
I'm glad you agree. That was a very good question. I enjoyed it very much. So where are we up to? The last part of the arc, Senpai's true abilities? Is that where we're up to?
Senpai, your true abilities shine.
This is my favourite opening to any episode of Haikyuu ever. Like, we've just had this sad, vulnerable end to the last episode. Kageyama fails in front of Oikawa and in front of all of his team, and Karasuno's just generally a little bit down and a little bit of a slump. So what happens? We get Suga subbed in, and then we get a certified vibe check. It's like, can we get a vibe check on centre court, please? And he has this moment disciplining everyone on the team, and he can even hit Tsukishima on the head with zero repercussions. And this just gives me mum energy.
He's a mum, lol.
And then it culminates with Nishinoya being the only one who doesn't get a vibe check, because Nishi's always in the right vibe, right? He gets a high five.
Yay, Kai!
So then Ukai says, you know, Kageyama needs to sit out and learn something from his upperclassmen. Enter Sugamama, and Sugamama does a good vibe check and then just gets everyone. Great name. And he gets everyone back on board, and I just love that. He is able to build the team morale back up, and that's what I love about Suga, you know?
But I think the thing that really shines for him is that he has spent so much time on the sideline watching that he has gotten really good at calculating what to do next and predicting everyone's moves. Like, I know that they're going to aim for me in the next serve. I know that they're going to try and do this and we should counterattack like this. He's just on it. He is on it. He is Senpai for sure.
I think Kageyama finally learns something, doesn't he?
Yeah, he learns. And I think I like the next episode more, because I love watching Sugawara's like boshing it and like nailing it and making everyone feel good. But I love the tiny bit of growth that Kageyama shows in the next episode and how they all start to gel better together, and then you get this like flux of like skill all of a sudden. So even though I love this episode, the next one's the one that I rate more highly.
Like Kageyama needs to take a leaf out of Oikawa's book, really, to be a better team player, and he then comes back and shows his little bit of growth, but it's just a little bit too late, isn't it?
No wonder Oikawa has such a superiority complex about him with Kageyama, because he's like, I've already learnt this lesson, son, get on board. Like, jeez, you're so behind. This is why I am your upperclassman.
What does he call him actually, to say his protege?
Yeah, little Tobio, my little protege.
I do love their interactions, you know, as much as Oikawa can be a bit petty and a bit trashy. I think, like, you know, those moments off the court is when I do kind of laugh at Oikawa. He's fun.
That's the thing about this show, though, is that he doesn't stay a villain for long. He is like the object of attrition and who we need to be against. and then all of a sudden it flips and you're actually like, oh, I have mad respect for Oikawa now.
Yeah. Those last 2 eps, removing the Solitary King in the 3rd day, you can't deny that Aoba Johsai deserved the win. And it's upsetting because just to see Kageyama have his last moment of hope, then he just gets salt in the wound, and you get Kunimi and Kindaichi, who he sees actually really enjoying being on a team with Oikawa. And maybe this is the moment it finally clicks, like what he needs to do. He needs to be more of a people person. He needs to be able to change. He can't be this king, you know?
Yeah. And I think I'm just skipping ahead to the end of this whole match where they lose. And it's at the end of the closing theme that you see them where Ukai takes them for food and they all sit down and he's like, you've worked so hard, you need to eat. And they just start crying and I feel that emotion for them. I'm just like, oh, lads, but also... you're not there yet. You got some way to go, pals.
These crows have got a long way to go. They need to train up and get ready for the next fight. Quickly, before we wrap up, I have got one more game for you.
Ooh, another game!
So I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and in that time, I need you to recreate as many of the chants that you hear in this arc as you possibly can.
Oh, okay.
Do you think you can do that?
I think I could do it.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go, go, Seijo!
Yep.
Go, go, Seijo! That's definitely one. And then, I don't know why they all start with, like, go, go. So it's like, go, 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 Daytech. Or, like, go, Daytech is also another one. Daytech, here we go, here we go. I can only ever remember the Shiratorizawa one, but I know that's not in this arc, but it's basically like, Shiratorizawa!
Oh, you got 5 seconds. Go,
Oh,
go, go,
God. Karasuno doesn't even have one.
They don't.
Which is so sad for them.
Oh, your time's up.
Oh.
But I'll actually let you have that Shiratorizawa one because we do hear it in the little flashback.
Oh, yeah, they do. Ugh,
Yeah.
ugh. I also really like that any time Oikawa comes up to serve, he gets this like, oh, hey.
You also forgot one of my favourite ones, which is, oh, Seijo. But yeah, you did well.
I got 2.
You got 3, actually. You got 3 from a possible, like, I don't know, I think it was 7? Like,
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. For the people at home, I am going to play you a very short clip of some of the others that you could have had.
Hey now, tell me you're true or false, by the way.
My true or false is false. The Seijo banner doesn't say rule the game. What does it say, Fuzzy?
Rule the court as the
Exactly.
kings and dominating people that they are.
Oh, wait, weren't you going to tell me about Salonpas?
So this was going to be my wrap up. So Chesko asked me what Salonpas were, which is something that Hinata says in both this season, this arc and the last arc. In episode 1 of the last arc, he walks into the gym and he's like, oh, it smells like Salonpas. And we were like, what is that? And after a little bit of Googling, it's like a medicated spray that they spray on like sore joints or whatever to like make it feel a bit better. Like in my head I imagine like Vicks or Tiger Balm or something like that.
Yeah, so like a deep heat or
Right.
spray Tiger Balm.
Yeah.
MVP of the arc, Fuzzy? Thoughts? Feelings? What are you going to do?
Ooh. Oh, obviously Sugawara coming
Ooh.
out, because he just gives everyone like a little boost. He's been sidelined for so long, and then he finally gets his chance to shine, and boy, does he shine.
He shines.
Does he do
so brightly.
his gang a huge favour?
He sparkles.
He sparkles, he does.
He does. He has his moment.
He has his Miss United States moment. He really does. Shout out to Miss Congeniality. He's Miss United States. So my question for you, favourite episode of this arc?
I think for me, it's got to be Senpai's True Abilities. I love that episode.
Yes, Snapperoonie.
Right? Because it's such a nice episode to see
Yep.
what Suga has worked so hard for, and now it's come into play. And it's amazing because he's not even in the starting lineup, but can play such an integral role in the team.
Exactly. I 100% agree. Yeah. I like Senpai's true ability. That is a big family favourite. But I actually really love the following episode because it just, puts everything into action. It's like, hello, we finally learned something and we're going to actually bloody well use our abilities to learn and improve here.
Yeah.
At the end of this arc, I honestly thought this was the end. We now have to cut to next year. We lose the third years and that's it. But then at the end of the arc where they have that whole like, oh, third years, do you want to drop out? Do you want to stay? Kind of thing. I realised that actually I don't understand the Japanese school year, firstly. Secondly...
It's weird because it starts in April, actually.
It's super weird. And secondly, there is so much more to come.
Oh my god, there's so much to come. We've got the best arc coming. The best arc is the next one.
Just if you have been watching and you've been confused about what's going on and where we go from here, don't worry, there's more to come. And the next training arc, I'm not gonna lie, it's one of my faves.
It is
the next arc.
I think it's the fan fave. Everybody loves this arc. If nobody's got me, I know the Haikyuu Tokyo training camp arc has my back.
Definitely stay tuned to find out what's happening next arc.
Anyway, time for wrapping up.
So thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've chatted for quite a while here.
We have. Thank you if you got this far. But we have enjoyed it, and we hope you've enjoyed it too. We have the best arc coming up. We've got so many new characters who are some of my faves and some of Fuzzy's faves too. We do have an Instagram, by the way. It's just Ani-Meito.podcast. We love sharing cosplays, artwork, covers, anything to do with anime. Give us a follow, and you can even drop in our DMs if you've got any hot takes or questions. We would love to hear them.
Exactly. We are in it for your opinions, for your takes. We want your art. We want your drama. We want to know what you feel.
We do. And if you have anything else to contribute to the next episode, you can always just email us at animeito.podcast@gmail.com. Alternatively, hit up our website. It's just animeitopodcast.com. Thank you for listening, cats, crows and owls.
See you soon.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
おい邪魔すんなボケ平田ボケ。
おやおや